6 o'clock news starts right now.
Today, the nation celebrates Juneteenth, a federal holiday focused on Black freedom and the fight for equality.
That fight still very much underway, and the proof is in the numbers. The pandemic brought to light the extreme health disparities that affect Black communities, and it's rooted in systemic racism.
Courtney Friedman tells us about a new study by a local researcher that shows the breast cancer mortality rate of Black women is 40% higher than that of white women.
With Lynette Dawson's big smile and positive energy, you'd never know she's been battling cancer since 2018.
I was thinking I was going in for a benign consultation on a radial scar, and come to find out I had breast cancer.
She went through chemo, radiation, and surgery. Then almost 3 years exactly after her first diagnosis came another.
Stage 0 breast cancer called ductal carcinoma in situ.
As a years-long breast cancer patient and a Black woman, she was disheartened by a recent study released days ago by a research team that includes UT Health San Antonio surgical oncologist Dr. Ismail Jatoy. It found breast cancer deaths are 40% higher for Black women than white women.
Prior to 1980, Black women actually had lower breast cancer death rates than white women. In 1980, the mortality rates diverged.
In the 80s, mammograms and endocrine therapy treatment were introduced, but access was not equal.
Black women have lower rates of health insurance and therefore have less access to these interventions.
Those interventions also don't work as well on the most aggressive types of breast cancers, which are more common in Black women. Dr. Jatoy believes that also has to do with access and environment.
It is very, very expensive, even with good insurance. My out-of-pocket expenses, I've maxed it out now twice.
On the Juneteenth federal holiday, Dawson hopes allies and advocates will take studies like this seriously.
It's like great to say that we have that Black freedom, but we also need to educate the community that here are resources to do things, and how do we get it to them.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
And Courtney tells us that team will continue their research into the root causes of the disparity in order to find better solutions. While Dawson continues her treatment, she urges all women to schedule their mammograms. It's recommended women ages 45 to 54 get one every year.
They told Mr. Sutton, we don't serve color in the community. And he said, yes, you do. It's Mr. Sutton, you know we don't serve colored in the community. He said, you're serving colored right now.
His mother helped integrate a high-end restaurant in downtown San Antonio, and his story is one of many being preserved and shared today. It's a big part of the mission of SACAM, the San Antonio African American Archive and Museum. We will share his recollections coming up at a special KSAT Explains at 6:30.
Half a year without their little girl or any clear answers on what happened to her. Today marks 6 months since the disappearance of little Lena Keel. Her family and community members holding an observance later tonight at the Muslim Children Education and Civic Center. Our Garrett Berger gives us the background on that case.
Lena Keel was just 3 years old when she disappeared from a playground at her family's apartment complex back on December 20th. Unfortunately, the last 6 months have yielded few answers of where she went. We spoke with Lena's family back in February as they marked her 4th birthday. Despite the somber mood, they held out hope they'd be able to celebrate her 5th birthday with her. A retired FBI agent whose nonprofit private investigation group is helping the family with the case, also hopeful that Lena is still alive.
I mean, she's just a precious little girl, and I can't imagine anybody that would have any nefarious or sinister thoughts about her, but she's a beautiful young little girl that we're very hopeful that she's still alive, and we're going to continue searching for her.
Pena believes someone likely took Lena. He does not believe she wandered away from there. But as to who or why, those essential details are still unclear. The observance tonight starts at 8:30 here at the Muslim Children Education and Civic Center. The event is open to the public. On the north side, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
The San Antonio community mourning the loss of a beloved artist. Rebecca Medina passed away yesterday morning, according to her family. Her most iconic work included her life-size dolls inspired by Frida Kahlo. And now her family and friends tell our Alicia Barrera that they want to honor her dedication to the community.
Her salon chair is empty, yet her essence is all around.
An aura that just shines so brightly. Love people, love San Antonio.
Artist Rebecca Medina suddenly passed away Sunday morning. Her daughter, Bethany De Leon, says her mother's artwork leaves her with so many memories.
That talent, that energy, that drive to make beautiful things, and not just artwork, but giving love to people.
Medina's work was bold, unique.
My mom definitely had a style. You could say Rebecca Medina made that.
And it paid tribute to her Hispanic heritage.
That translation from her mind to her hands to actually creating something tangible that people can see is amazing.
Her family says she always made a grand entrance hoping to inspire younger artists. Medina's friend, Richard Sanchez, says it was a big focus for her.
Her dream was to open a school for the Hispanic community in San Antonio, an art school.
Now it's their mission to honor Rebecca Medina and her work for generations to come.
She didn't work this hard for her work to be gone unnoticed and to be forgotten.
Funeral services are still pending, and her family does plan to have a community memorial for Rebecca Medina. But it will be this weekend during the Pride Parade, where the public will once again be able to view those life-size iconic dolls. Reporting Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Turning now to a developing story. A woman is left with a gunshot wound after being shot by a man she described as wearing all black and a mask on the south side. It happened around 3 o'clock this morning in the parking lot of R&J Saloon, located at South Flores Street near East South Cross and I-35. She was walking to her vehicle when the man walked up to her car and allegedly fired several shots. That woman grazed in the hand. Her vehicle left with several bullet holes. She was treated at the scene. Police now looking for the suspect.
Let's take a look at traffic at this hour out there. This is the TransGuide camera here at Highway 281 in Hildebrand. You are looking north here. Not as much traffic on the roads as we normally see during the 6 o'clock hour, likely due to today's holiday. Now this week, several construction projects are underway. Debris removal happening and drainage work. Let's check in with our Stephen Cavazos with what you need to watch out for.
We are getting closer to the end of June, but the work around the Alamo City is not over yet. Let's go ahead and get a look at what you can expect over here off I-10 over on the east side of Bexar County. Debris removal is taking place there following the demolition of the bridge. We do see this starting on Monday, June 20th, wrapping on Friday, June 24th. And now this will start around 9 in the morning, last until 3 of the afternoon. Now drivers during that time, you can expect alternating right lane northbound and southbound loop 1604 closures right there at the I-10 intersection. Let's take a drive over there to 410 over on the west side of San Antonio, where we continue to see drainage work taking place. This again starts Monday, June 20th. Should be wrapping up though on Monday, July 4th. So we have a ways to go before that finishes. But keep in mind, it starts at 9 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. During that time, drivers can expect a full closure of the southbound to northbound turnaround right there at Culebra Road. One last look here at Loop 410, this time over on the southwest side where we see barrier work taking place. Again, it starts Monday, June 20th, lasts until Friday, June 24th. It begins at 9 in the evening and ends at 5 in the morning. So keep in mind, during that time, single northbound main lane closures at Old Pearsall Road to Ray Ellison Boulevard. And of course, for the latest on closures taking place in your area, grab those phones, scan this QR code by tapping the center of your screen. That will have a list of closures taking place in your area and of course, anything else that could impact your drive time.
Starting tomorrow, New Braunfels will go into Stage 3 water restrictions. This news coming from New Braunfels Utilities. Officials say the new restrictions are necessary due to the ongoing drought. New Braunfels has not had Stage 3 water restrictions since 2015. People will only be allowed to water once a day and every other week based on their address. For the water schedule, head to KSAT.com. We also have information on all the other restrictions under Stage 3.
Of course, we could use a serious drink of water around here. No real rain to speak of for weeks and weeks. But Adam, Stage 3 water restrictions not affecting SAWS customers, right?
Yeah, that's the main point. There's a lot of confusion out there. We've got different jurisdictions and utility companies out there, utilities. And for SAWS customers, we're still Stage 2 watering restrictions. But for permit holders, when it comes to pumping out of the Edwards Aquifer, that's stage 3, okay? But your everyday SAWS customer, everyday user, stage 2 still. Hey, today, 100 degrees, 7 degrees above average, 3 degrees shy of the record. That's our 17th 100-degree day so far this year. Now, the most we've ever seen in a given year is 59. That was back in 2009. A close second was 2011. Let's compare up to this point, those years. 2009, we had 14 days at this point. 2011, we had 11 days. So if we stay on this track, 2022 could go down as the year with the most 100-degree days. Of course, a lot can change, especially a tropical system. That's all it takes to throw things off a little bit. And of course, some computer glitches in the screens to throw things off a little as well. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes to talk more about how hot it's going to be and a little 10% chance of rain. We just had a little shower pop up. We'll look at it in a minute, Myra.
Thank you, Adam. A local man sharing his personal memories in hopes of preserving Black history here in San Antonio. We'll share a piece of his story that he's connected to.
And the heat is unbearable for us and even worse for our pets. How to avoid heat-related illnesses as the temperatures continue to stick around 100.
I'm Stefania Jimenez, and tonight after the game, potential relief from those massive prices at the pump, the temporary solution President Biden says he's considering, and how it could affect your bottom line. Plus,
they failed us. They failed our kids. They failed our city. They failed our community.
frustration and anger from the family member of a Uvalde school victim, the demand he's making tonight, and the decision that Uvalde City Council members will make this week. We'll see you for these stories and more tonight on the Night Beat after the game.
Thank you, Stephanie. We'll look forward to it. This triple-digit heat, not great for us or our four-legged friend. The sun and the heat can be just as bad for our pets as it can be for us.
Our RJ Marquez spoke with the Animal Defense League about heat-related issues for our furry friends and how to keep them extra safe when temperatures start to rise.
If it's too hot for us, it's probably too hot for your pet.
Nadia De La Garza with the Animal Defense League says pets need shade and water when they go outside, but owners will also want to watch for signs of heat exhaustion.
You're going to notice some wheezing, you're going to notice some panting, dry nose, dry eyes, or like sunken in eyes. That's another thing, but mostly you're going to see them panting a lot.
Nadia says walks are best before the sun comes up or after it goes down, or try staying in the grass. Temperatures on sidewalks and asphalt can reach 125 degrees.
A very good test of how to test the asphalt is just putting your hands down for a few seconds on the ground, and if it's too hot for you, it's probably too hot for their paws.
And here we have one-year-old Kupka. He is a Chihuahua mix. As you can see, he's panting a little bit, so he's trying to cool down. He has a longer snout, which means that he's breathing a little bit easier, but for dogs with shorter snouts, that is especially harder during this hot heat. And also keep in mind your dog's coat, because as we can see here with Kupka, kind of a medium coat, so he's doing okay, but dogs that thicker coats have a much harder time in these triple-digit days.
State law says it's illegal to chain up your pets, and leaving them in a hot car can be deadly.
If you do see a pet in the car, it does get about within 7 to 10 minutes, 20 degrees hotter. Leaving the dog in there, even with the window cracked, is not going to help.
If you see a pet in a hot car, call 311 to report it or contact Animal Care Services. RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
And the triple digits just keep on coming, but rain chances do not.
Oh. Yeah, it'd be nice to see some of that.
Yeah, it sure would be. And of course, we could use a good soaking rainfall. But in these kinds of patterns and these types of summers, really we rely upon a tropical moisture. And right now there's no sign of anything really moving in of substance. But there is a glimmer of hope for some shower activity in the extended forecast as a weak cool front's likely to drop in toward the end of our 7-day forecast. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But otherwise, between now and next Monday, some more record challenging heat is on the way. All right, let's take a look at the state of Texas right now. Temperatures for the most part right around 100 degrees with the exception of West Texas, where we have some clouds and even a rain cooled air. El Paso 85, Alpine 87 right now. And along the Gulf Coast, some lower 90s, Corpus Christi and Brownsville. But the big picture shows this heat high stretching all the way up to the Canadian border into the Great Lakes. Actually, I showed this at 5 o'clock. Minneapolis was hotter than us just over the past few hours, hitting 101 for the high temperature. Now we're tied with Minneapolis at 99, and 90s stretch all the way up the plains, up into parts of the Great Lakes region, even Chicago 94 and St. Louis at 95. The cooler air, and actually below average, is in the Pacific Northwest and parts of the Rocky Mountains. That's where actually temperatures are running below average for a change because of the dip in the upper level flow there. But let's talk about our heat. Right now, 101 Stinson, Port SA 101, Bernie at 95 along with Bulverde, Canyon Lake down to 92, and Kerrville now 94 degrees. Del Rio 100. You get the idea. This is a very similar temperature map as to what we've been experiencing the past several weeks, really since May. Cotulla, that's the hot spot right now on our map at 105. Tomorrow morning, we start the day in the mid-70s for most of us, 75 Uvalde and Hondo, 76 in San Antonio. In the morning, up in the hill country, lower 70s, so Kerrville about 73 degrees. Then by the afternoon, more of the same, right near the century mark. Eagle Pass, about 100, Pleasanton, 101, Gonzales, 100. South side of San Antonio, even west side of town, about an even 100, same with downtown. But you get a little farther to the north and we shave off a few degrees. Timberwood Park, 97 tomorrow afternoon, and Bernie closer to 96. Our trend, though, takes us back up above 100. I mean, by Wednesday, 100 degrees, 101 Thursday, Friday through the weekend, we're talking 102. And on Friday, the record is 102. So we are anticipating to at least tie that record. But notice this little drop off Monday. 97. I know, not a big change, but it's something. And it's actually that weak cool front we were talking about. All right, if you've been watching us in previous newscasts, even Sarah earlier today, we were talking about this 10% chance of a shower. Well, this is that 10%, folks. It's basically negligible. It's on the west side of town between 1604 and 410, just south of Highway 90. Really not much to it. Better than nothing, yes, but it's really going to add up to just about nothing. So unfortunately, yes, we have that 10% chance, but even where we do see that little hit or miss shower, it's insignificant and really not going to make much of a difference. We've got some nice high clouds moving overhead. Should give some of us a nice sunset. Otherwise, you see the sea breeze that kicks in throughout the day, and the sea breeze is helping to kick off a few showers closer to the Gulf Coast this afternoon. And that's going to be the case again tomorrow, but it's just that 10% chance. That's all we're talking about. Overall, we're dominated by and under the influence of that heat high for now. Partly cloudy conditions this evening, southeasterly breeze at about 5 to 15, increasing humidity later tonight. 97 still at 8 p.m. By 10 o'clock, 87, midnight 82 degrees. And we start the day tomorrow at 76 at 7 a.m. And we get to the noon hour, partly cloudy and 91 at that point. The high temperature again right near 100 and that slight 10% chance. But you get into Monday, we're upping it up to a 20% chance, and there is at least some hope for a few extra showers early next week.
All right, there is some hope. Thanks, Adam.
All right, Greg, the Aggies will get the chance to continue to play in the College World Series after sending the Longhorns packing this weekend.
That is correct, and the Aggies also get to take on another Cinderella story, if you will, Notre Dame in their next clash. When we come back, more about how the Aggies survived against the Horns, and what a finish at the U.S. Open. It got so close, well, you'll see. The fighting Texas Aggies have lived to play another day of the College World Series after eliminating their in-state rivals, the Texas Longhorns, in Omaha on Sunday, and now advance to face Notre Dame tomorrow in another must-win. Longhorns jump out quickly against the Aggies. Top of the second, Doug Hodo III out of Bernie High School pulls a double down the left field line. Dylan Campbell scores 2-0 Texas. A&M answers right back at the bottom of the frame thanks to another Bernie native, champion zone Jordan Thompson. Skies one to left. That's going to find the gap. Troy Claunch heads home, and we're tied at 2-all. And not over yet. Few batters later, Trevor Werner drives a base hit into left center. Thompson scores along with Brett Minich. A&M vaults ahead 4-2. That's all the run support they would need. Thompson finished the game 2 for 2 for 2 runs and 2 RBI. The Aggies pitching holds together after using 6 in the 13-8 loss to OU. And the magical season for A&M continues as they knock out the Longhorns 10-2 to remain alive in the College World Series.
Collectively, we just put together great at-bats. Just kept making him make pitches, and we took the balls and hit the strikes. I mean, nothing more he can do.
The story of the game, other than us, is we made pitches to Melendez. I mean, it's first and third, nobody out, and he's up.
in the first inning. And then I think the next time he's up, or the third time he's up, the bases are loaded. So it's Golden Spikes winner, and we executed pitches against him, and he's a great hitter, going to have an awesome career. But that was a massive part of the game.
We all had the same goal, and that was to have a dogpile at the end. I don't think it's really truly hit me yet. We fight for this, and this is everything that we work for, and it's just one of those things that we didn't get it done today, and we'll be all right. We'll be right back there. I know Coach Pierce will do a great job next year and get us back.
All right, A&M advances to face Notre Dame. Another winner-go-home game tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
The owner of the Washington Commanders, Daniel Snyder, has declined again to appear before the House Oversight Committee, which is investigating the alleged toxic workplace culture within the NFL franchise. His attorney claims that Snyder has a long-standing Commanders-related business conflict. On June the 22nd, will also be out of the country at the end of the month. Chairwoman Carolyn Maloney, a Democrat out of New York, and sent Snyder's attorney a 6-page letter, according to ESPN, stating Snyder could testify virtually on the June 22nd hearing, but his attorney Karen Patton Seymour wrote back today saying offering remote testimony does not address her concern that a virtual appearance would not sufficiently protect Mr. Snyder's interest in having his counsel physically present with him. What a finish at the U.S. Open. Matt Fitzpatrick and Will Zalatoris were tied at 5 under until Fitzpatrick took the lead on 15 with his great approach shot. He would sink that birdie to go 6 under. Now, Zalatoris had a chance to match that with a long birdie putt here on the par 4 17, but he comes up just short of the cup and stays a stroke behind at 5 under. So we head to the 18th. Fitzpatrick is in a jam, chipping out the bunker, no problem. He once again finds a green. He parred the hole 2 putts later to put the pressure on Zalatoris to match him, and comes down this one final stroke. Zalatoris putting for the birdie for a force of playoff. Look at it, just offline. Zalatoris can't believe it. Fitzpatrick hangs on to win it 6 under.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's just the feelings out of this world. It's so cliche, but it's stuff you dream of as a kid, and to achieve it, I can retire a happy man tomorrow.
I just enjoyed watching his family, in particular his brother, following him along the course. And when nobody thought they thought they were going to a playoff until it just didn't make it, that last putt, and then everybody just exploding on the sideline. It was great to watch.
Good stuff. Thank you, Greg. Still to come, millions of shipments of COVID vaccines for kids 6 months and up are now headed to states. How soon those shots will be distributed nationwide.
Plus, he has connections to one of the first integrated doctor's offices in San Antonio, and he's taking time to share that story and more in the hopes of keeping Black history alive. That's our latest episode of KSAT Explains, up next. There is an organization in San Antonio dedicated to making sure the stories of our local Black community are not only told, but they're preserved.
It's the San Antonio African American Community Archive and Museum, or SACAM. They hold history harvest events to get people to share their documents, photos, or even their own stories in their own words, oral histories.
SACAM just wrapped up its Juneteenth History Harvest, and today we're sharing some of the stories that they have shared with us by introducing you to Charles Clifton Andrews Jr.
My name is Charles Clifton Andrews Jr. I was born in San Antonio, Texas. I was a doctor's son, and there were advantages, obviously, economic and social advantages to being a doctor's son. But I was a Black doctor's son. San Antonio was a little different than most of the cities in the South and Southwest, in that it was a tad more liberal than other places. But I grew up on a block in the 1100 block of Culebra on the west side of San Antonio that only had 2 Black families. My father had the first integrated medical practice in the South or Southwest. And what he did was he simply opened up his office on the west side in an area where there were Mexican Americans, African Americans, Chinese Americans, Gypsy Americans, German Americans, and white Americans. And he just opened his office. He was the only doctor around. And so they came. And some of those non-Black patients of Dad's remained his patients for the 60-something years that he practiced medicine. We had family in a little town called Idabel, Oklahoma. And we used to drive up. We had to pass through a town called Greenville, Texas. Greenville had a sign on either end of the highway, coming and going, that said, "Welcome to Greenville, Texas. We have the blackest dirt and the whitest people on earth." We'd just about gotten through when we were pulled over. And we were pulled over because the policeman thought that he had seen a black man driving a white woman in the front seat of a car. My mother didn't have any Negroid characteristics, no features as such. Mother looked like she was white. And so he stopped us. My mother and father tried to explain to the policeman that my mother was colored and not white. And the policeman would not accept that explanation. My younger brother and sister were in the car, both of whom were fairer than I. He called me a pickaninny and made my father and me get out of the car. And he handcuffed me to my father. And he made us walk to the edge of town. Now, it was about a block. I mean, it wasn't a long mile or anything, but it was about a block behind the car where my mother drove it. And when we got to the edge of town where the sign was, he unhandcuffed us, told us never to come through Greenville, Texas again. It was the first and only time in my life I ever saw my father cry. Saw tears coming from my father's eyes, because there was absolutely nothing that he could do about it if he wanted to live. There was a store here in San Antonio called Josky's, and native San Antonians of my age and era will recognize that name. The high-class place to eat in San Antonio was a place in Josky's called the Camellia Room. My mother had a friend, a very close friend, whose name was Kathleen Boyd. They were both members of League of Women Voters, and they decided that they were going to integrate the Camellia Room. And because my mother didn't look like she was black, and then my uncle, G.J. Sutton, who very obviously was African-American, came to the the entrance of the Camellia Room and tried to enter. They told him, "Mr. Sutton, we don't serve colored in the Camellia Room." And he said, "Yes, you do. You're serving colored right now." And what are you talking about? He said, "My sister's in there eating right now." So they went over to my mother and they said, "Excuse me, but there's a man at the front who says he's your brother and he wants to join you." And my mother looked around and said, "Oh yeah, that's my brother G.J. Let him in." He said, "That's your brother?" "Yeah, that's my brother." And you know what? They let him in. And that's how the Camellia Room at Josky's of Texas got integrated.
The San Antonio African American Archive and Museum is located in La Villita. If you'd like to learn more, go to saacam.org. That is SAAACAM.org. And to check out any episode of KSAT Explains, just scan the QR code you see here. KSAT Explains takes one topic and we explore it with more depth, perspective, and context. It's here on the news at 6 at 6:30.
The first wave of shots for America's youngest children now going into those tiny arms. Children ages 6 months to 5 years old are officially able to get vaccinated against COVID-19. States have already put in their orders for the more than 18 million American children now eligible. Families have two options: Pfizer's 3-shot course, each dose 1/10 the size of an adult dose, administered over 11 weeks. There's also Moderna's 2-shot regimen, each one 1/4 of the adult dose, and those are administered 1 month apart. While children are less likely to become severely ill from COVID, doctors say it is still critical for them to be vaccinated.
It's the best way to hedge bets against severe illness, hospitalization, long COVID, and any potential issues that may happen with the fall surge.
But many families are still hesitant. According to a survey taken in April before the CDC's recommendation, just 1 in 5 parents say they were eager to get their kids protected, while 4 out of 10 parents said they were reluctant to vaccinate their kids right away.
As a kid, one of the best parts of having a sick day was staying home on the couch, watching TV, maybe some popsicles. But could too much bed rest be a bad thing? Here's ABC's Faith Abube with this Medical Minute.
Gatorade, ginger ale, soup, and a favorite television show is an ideal sick day for many. Especially with the pandemic, sick days have become part of everyday talk. But recent research suggests that too many days in bed could have negative effects on mental health. A study from the University of Iceland looked at 247,249 individuals from 6 countries and found that individuals who spent 7 or more days in bed during a COVID infection were at increased risk of developing depression and trouble sleeping. pooping. The study was conducted from February 2020 to August 2021. The patients faced 50 to 60% higher prevalence of depressive symptoms and anxiety up to 16 months after infection. It was the first study to look directly at disease severity as a risk factor for mental health in COVID-19. The study did not involve participants from the U.S. With this Medical Minute, I'm Faith Abube, ABC News.
Consumer news now. If you feed your dog Fresh Pet, listen up. The company is recalling the 4.5-pound bag of Fresh Pet Select Fresh from the kitchen home-cooked chicken recipe. That's because it might be contaminated with salmonella, which could affect dogs who eat it and anyone who handles the food. To be clear, the recall is voluntary and it just affects one lot. So if you've got this food, you're going to want to look for the sell-by date of 10/29/22. As you know, salmonella can make us sick and cause stomach issues, and it does the same thing to pets. At this point, Fresh Pet says it hasn't had any reports that anyone has gotten sick.
This weekend looking like one of the busiest of the year for air travel. Why this is expected to be just the start of what's to come.
Stranded and frustrated, millions of Americans blindsided after flights were canceled left and right this weekend.
Friday was the busiest air travel day so far this year, according to the TSA. Juneteenth and Father's Day fueling more people to fly. A devastating combo of bad weather, staff shortages, and infrastructure challenges left carriers struggling to keep up.
Altogether, more than 3,200 flights canceled between Friday and Sunday. That's according to FlightAware. Experts are predicting even more travel troubles on the horizon.
They said the shuttle pilots, cabin crew, all kinds of shortage they have now.
The layover was supposed to be 2 hours and it ended up being 5.
I've been there. Major airlines already canceling even more flights. Southwest cutting nearly 20,000 of them between June and Labor Day. Delta will cancel 100 daily flights over the next 2 months. Frustrating for travelers and more costly, too. Airfare shooting up more than 10% just last month.
Painful. All right, let's take a look outside with live cam. 99 degrees right now, but we did it. We hit those triple digits yet again today, Adam.
Yeah, we did, and that's our 17th triple-digit day so far this year. And to put it in perspective, we average 9, but the maximum is 59. As for the rest of this evening, 99 right now, 97 at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 87 degrees. Midnight, still above 80, around 82. There's that little 10% chance through about 8 o'clock of a rogue shower. We just spotted a few more on the radar screen, but nothing to get too excited about. There is a weak cool front in the forecast for the extended period about this time next week. We're going to talk more about that and what kind of rain chances it could bring coming up.
In the buzz today, no mystery here. It just sold out really quickly. Airbnb and Warner Brothers offered an overnight stay in the Mystery Machine from the Scooby-Doo live action film, and it sold out within minutes. Zoinks! The idea was to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of the movie's release. There's Shaggy there.
Oh, that just made my day. The iconic van will be parked on the Malibu coast in California for 3 one-night stays starting Friday. The lucky guests, they only paid $20 for the stay. How about that? Jennifer Lopez getting some praise for introducing one of her 14-year-old twins with gender-neutral pronouns at a recent performance. The singer introduced Emmy Maribel Muniz using they and them after taking to the stage at the LA Dodgers Blue Diamond Gala. Lopez and Emmy, who was carrying a rainbow microphone, sang Christina Perri's hit 1,000 Years.
Not the first time they've appeared together. The pair previously made headlines for performing together when Lopez co-headlined the Super Bowl halftime show back in 2020. Foregoing your morning cup of joe for a cold vanilla milkshake is perfectly fine for today. Why? Because today is National Vanilla Milkshake Day. Adam's super excited about it. Every year on June 20th, the flavors that serve as the base for the most milkshake is honored. A vanilla milkshake was not always made with ice cream, though.
Yeah, Kasky, here's a twist, a bit of a did you know. According to National Day calendar, people in Hold on now. Hold on.
You'll like this part.
Mumbling in the Weather Center. People in 1885 served their milkshakes with whiskey instead.
Why did we stop?
I don't know. Somebody came along and changed that in the early 1900s.
Wonder if it had anything to do with prohibition.
Yeah, there you
Could
go.
be.
Ever heard of such a thing?
I still just question the source.
Kasky will have his
I'm with you.
shaken, not stirred.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
Oh boy. Okay. Another national day, right? According to the calendar, whoever makes that calendar. Oh, let's not get me started on that. 100 degrees, our high temperature today, the 17th 100-degree day so far this year. We were 7 degrees above average and 3 degrees shy of the record. Cotulla made it up to 105, Pleasanton even 103. Those were the hot spots in our area. But we weren't the only ones feeling the heat. Look at this. This heat wave stretches north up the plains all the way to the Canadian border, basically. You get up into International Falls, Minnesota, right along the Canadian border. 92. Minneapolis was hotter than us by 1 degree today. North Platte, Nebraska was just as hot as San Antonio, Texas. And see those high temperatures well into the 90s far north. And that's 7 degrees above average for us, but we're talking 15 to 20 degrees above average for some of the folks farther to the north, closer to the Great Lakes and up the plains, but below average in parts of the Pacific Northwest and Intermountain West. And that's where we have this dip in the upper level flow. Whenever you have that dip, the cooler air gets pulled southward. Meanwhile, when you have the bump in the upper level flow, the ridge, warm air gets pushed northward. And so the jet stream running right between those two systems, and that's the delineation between the cooler air to the north and the warmer air to the south. Of course, we're within the heat high and the warmer air to the south, but this type of pattern, it leads to monsoon season out in West Texas and parts of the desert Southwest. So actually some shower activity across much of drought-stricken New Mexico, even parts of West Texas, northern Mexico, southern Arizona. That upper level heat high can draw in moisture off the Pacific, and that's mainly upper level moisture and can help kickstart some of those showers. Around here, look at that, a few little showers have popped up, but not a whole lot to talk about. You look at it right near Hallettsville, one little downpour, northern Atascosa County, barely a downpour. This is that 10% chance that we've been talking about, and it's going to be here again tomorrow. So not a whole lot, but one or two fairly insignificant pop-ups, about 10% chance, and then nothing Wednesday through Sunday. Monday of next week, very weak cool fronts likely to drop in, and that at least reintroduces the chance of a few showers or storms. We're giving it a 20% chance right now. And even on into Tuesday, probably some isolated activity as well. A lot can change between now and then, so we'll keep you updated, of course. Looking at the readings right now, Cotulla still 105. That's the hot spot. New Braunfels 101, 99 in Hondo. 96 Bandera, 95 in Comfort and Canyon Lake. Right now, 93 degrees. Port SA, 101. Tomorrow, here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. We start the day 7 a.m., 76 degrees, and a decent amount of those low clouds as we often see to start the day. Then by noon, 91, partly cloudy. Then by 4 and 5 p.m., 99 degrees with that 10% chance of a rogue pop-up afternoon shower, especially closer to the Gulf Coast. When that sea breeze kicks in the afternoon, it can be just enough to lift the air to get a few of those showers going. So we're talking Lavaca County, DeWitt County, Goliad, Victoria, maybe a brief pop-up downpour. Otherwise, right near 100 tomorrow for most of us. Poteet, Floresville, 100 along with Devine. You get into the hill country, Bernie and Bulverde about 96, 97 for the high temperature in Comfort. Looking ahead, a lot of sunshine the rest of this week with high temperatures back above 100 by Thursday 101, Friday 102. That would tie the record for the day, and it looks like we'll stay there in the low 100s through Saturday and Sunday. But that weak cool front, hey, could get us down to 97 for the high. I mean, it's something, right?
It is.
A little something.
Right.
We'll celebrate.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. In case you missed it, coming up next.
It is Monday. It is June 20th.
A somber milestone as the search for little Lena Keel hits 6 months. The now 4-year-old girl last seen on December 20th.
Lena was just 3 years old when she disappeared. Last seen on the playground at the Villas de Cabo apartment complex located at 9400 Fredericksburg Road, where her family lived. Project Absentis, a nonprofit private investigation group led by former FBI agent Abel Pena, has been working the case for free on behalf of Lena's family. Pena believes it's unlikely Lena just wandered off.
She was taken or maybe voluntarily walked away with somebody that she may have known. Those are just again, working theories.
I told my husband, was that fireworks? He goes, no, that was a gun. There was some gunshots.
And speaking of gunfire, neighbors still shaken up after a family barbecue turned deadly over the weekend. San Antonio police still searching for the suspects behind a drive-by shooting that ended with 2 people dead and 5 others in the hospital.
San Antonio stepping up to help the ongoing war effort in Ukraine. Today, a check in the amount of $202,000 donated to the nonprofit Save Our Allies. Those funds were raised through T-shirt sales from the apparel company Grunt Style, which is based right here in San Antonio.
This morning, we're getting some new video and pictures this morning showing a tornado absolutely ripped through a very busy and crowded Chinese city. Check this out. The twister hit the city in the South Chinese province and lasted about a minute, causing power outages, uprooting trees, and damaging houses and vehicles. You can see right there, it also took out buildings and transformers as well.
There's that little 10% chance of rain out there. Pretty insignificant. A few little showers popped up around parts of Barrow County. The most impressive, though, is out closer to Hallettsville. Even then, really insignificant and meaningless in terms of accumulations. Otherwise, mostly dry.